We're going to get started again. This is going to lead into the most manic part of the day when we start doing the library prep, which has a lot of reagents in a lot of very small amounts, and they'll be flying all over the place. So this is the calm before the storm, with the most boring part of the protocol, which is pooling our plates. What are you after now? Tips? Those are the right ones, aren't they? And you got your... So yeah, the idea of this session is getting 5 microliters from each well into our pool. We could wait to see if the gel was successful, but we're going to run it anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then once we've got our pools, we're going to quantify them using the Qubit. And then from there, we'll standardize between our 2 pools, which shouldn't be too complicated, hopefully. And then we'll start with the main event.
Okay. To make this process of pooling faster, instead of moving the PCR products one by one using a single channel pipette into the Eppendorf, we can move our PCR products into the strip using multi-channel pipette, and then from this 8 strips pull everything into the Eppendorf. So let's do this. And we are changing tips because we want to save our libraries, our PCR products. Yeah.
If we wanted to run it again.
Yeah. Next day. So. Okay. Sorry.
Hello. Hello.
Do we know, well, we should know what mixers we use for those pools.
What do we know of this? Yeah. 1, 2, A1 and A2. Again, 1, 2, 3. I think so. 6.
So
Yeah, because then I could always just
I need tips for 200. There's
200 tips?
yeah, yes, thank you.
We're going to talk a little bit about pooling and quanting before we start with our library prep. The protocols for the flow cell and for the flongle ask for slightly different things. So we have in the protocols for the flongle, we want 900 nanograms or 50 to 100 f-mol of amplicon DNA, and in the flow cell, 1 microgram or 100 to 200 f-mol. We do it per plate, as I've mentioned a few times before, which is 5 microliters from each well into 1.5 tube. We now have ways of doing that more efficiently, and maybe we're just going to throw the whole plate in from now on. Who knows? That's what other people seem to be doing, and it doesn't seem to be a problem. So yeah, in Sanger, they just pour the whole plate into a trough and stick it in the tube, which saves a lot of time and tips and things like that. We then quantify on the Qubit. We've been using the broad range up until now, but we're starting to use the high sensitivity one. I think we're just basically used the broad range because it was around, and we're now we've got the high sensitivity. We're finding that's a lot more effective. Once we've got our quantification, there are other things we can do. We can bead clean, we can column clean. A colleague of ours, Jordan, who I've done a lot of lab work with, has experimented with both of those, and it has helped, but it's extra stages. How much additional benefit do you get from those added steps? It's dependent on how your outputs are coming out and what you think is worth it in terms of time and money. So those are options. We're not going to do either of them here because that's not what we do. For using a Qubit, we were going to prep these reagents here, but they've already been prepped. Thank you very much. Was that what just got snuck in? Where was it? Yes, great. Yeah, this is what I was going to get you to do, but we don't need to do that anymore. But basically, you have your buffer and your reagent, which is it's a fluorescent reagent, so it needs to be kept in the dark, and it reacts to light, and it, as Christian was saying earlier, it bonds with the DNA and it reacts, and so you get your amount of DNA given to you as a result. And then we use that to create our quantities depending on the protocol that we are using. Standard 1, standard 2, cool 1, cool 2, great.
Pool number 2 is halfway done.
Halfway done. That is our. That's going to be the one that we use just before we go into the library. That's our library.
Gotcha. That's the standards.
These are the standards. These are our two pools. That's our library.
Oh, for the final step. before-
Final step.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Excellent. I like the foil.
Yeah.
And what's that?
Extra. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well done. You worked. That's a very good idea. Do you want me to actually do anything?
No. These standards are already mixed. You've mixed in the standards, haven't you? Yeah. Right. We're not going to be there that long.
Famous last words. Oh yeah, do you want to put them in there just so that it's super
Sorry,
dark?
just cover it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. Riddle.
How much are you adding?
2,
Okay.
because we've got more than enough. So,
Well, I can explain it while you do it if you want.
oh, great.
Yeah? I'll go stand over this. So what Dan's doing is we've previously compared the Qubit reagents. The Qubit is used to quantify how much DNA is in the sample. It uses 2 standards. Standard 1 has got a very little amount of DNA in it. Standard 2 has a lot of DNA in it, and it creates a graph that we'll see. And then we add 2 microliters of our samples, of our pools, each vortex, into a tube, vortex it briefly. And the nice thing about the Qubit is it comes with instructions on the
Yes.
card.
Don't have to memorize anything.
Yeah. Give it a quick spin. It's light sensitive, so we try and keep it. No, it's fine like that.
It's not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can keep it
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
once you've added a sample. It's fine to be exposed to light for a little bit, and then I think we incubate it. Don't we? 2 minutes.
2
Incubate it.
minutes incubation.
Yeah. But while we're incubating it, we can run the standards.
Which have been incubating for a while.
Yeah. But the standards can incubate for, well, they can stay for like 2-3 hours before they become less accurate. Plonk it in there.
Read standards.
Read standards, yeah. Insert standard 1, which is what I've done. Standard 1 over there. Read standard. Should be somewhere around 200, I think. 71. It's close enough.
You're thinking broad range.
Oh, I'm thinking of broad range. Yeah. And standard 2. Read standard. And that's 34,000. So they're quite different. And it makes a nice line between them. And then it's basically been 2 minutes.
Yep.
Well, 10 to 2 minutes. Pop pool number 1 in. Everyone hold your thumbs. Cross your fingers. It tells you what volume. So we put 2 microliters in.
Nanogram.
And we want to output in nanograms per microliter. And it's going to say something exciting like 8 nanograms per microliter, which is not terrible. That's okay.
It's not great either.
Yeah, it's not great either, but it's not terrible. And pool number 2. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? 9 nanograms per microliter. There we go. Well done.
Hey.
Now, what we typically do is we clean the pool before we do this because we have a lot of primer dimer, and of course the Qubit can't tell the difference between primer dimer or amplified DNA. But for the purposes of today, we're just
He
gonna
says we
race-
typically do this. We did it once, and then he was like, "Don't bother with that anymore." I don't think you forgot about that step. So,
typically once I've done this.
so now if we go to any bio calculator, we can work out how many fmol. Oh, yep.
Yes, there we go.
Cool. So if we go to any bio calculator, we can convert our mass
Nanograms.
into femtomol by putting in a DNA length. We've gone for 750, which is about right with the CO1 plus the primer plus the index, but it doesn't need to be super exact. So what did we have for the first one?
8 nanograms per microliter.
8. So that's
8 node to liter.
18. 8. So that gives us 17 f-mol per microliter.
Yeah.
And for the protocol for this, we wanted, what was it, at least 2?
100 to 200.
And we're going to go for the upper range. So if we want 200 in total, and we've got 17 in 1 microliter of one pool, then we need to do the calculation based on that. So
if we want, so basically, if we do it on here,
yes,
if we want to get 100 femtomolar from pool 1, right, and 100 from pool 2, to get there, we basically have to
divide by
divide by
17.26,
17, yeah. And then the other one, with 9,
which was,
then you can tell us if it's rough and ready, right? It's 19 femtomole, yeah.
yeah.
So can someone on the calculator tell us what those numbers look like? 100 divided by 17 is about 6.
Oh, not calculus.
5 point? What was it? Rob? 5.8. That's not bad. That was in my head. 5.88. Yeah. And 100 divided by 19 is 5.
5.26.
Yeah, 19. Yeah. 5.26. So then 5.88 microliters of pool 1 and 5.26 microliters of pool 2. Yeah, will give us that many femtomoles, 100 femtomoles each.
So we've gone from plates to tubes filled with that much, and then we're going to take just over 10 microliters onwards to actually be our library prep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Happy with that? Great. So I'm going to pool our pools together based on those, and then we have our initial start. I'm going to make one for each group, so you can play along as well. Because we're going to start getting a bit time sensitive, if things start taking a bit of time, I'm just going to start going on. You will get the gist of it. The exciting stuff is at the beginning. The rest is just kind of pipetting about a bit. So you might not be able to do a hands-on practice with all of it, but yeah, we'll do that. So, somebody's confused about the... So when I was taught, we were taught that if you go too high, it overloads things a bit. But I think nowadays, they're pushing that limit a bit higher and feel a bit more comfortable by having too much DNA rather than not enough DNA in it. So let's say 2.5. Have we got a 20? That'll do us. We're on 5.88. Not 5.88. What's 5.88 times 2? 11.67. 11.7. All right. Thanks. Are they debating whether we've got this right or not? Yep. Is this table happy to work as one? If I give you dark. I can't see it.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, caught. Great. Yeah, cool. So the protocol that I've prepared, the flongle one, not the flow cell one, not the flongle one. I'm powering the wrong one. There we go. But at certain points, it does say flongle, which Ben has flagged up to me. So just scribble that out and put that in the feedback. I've tried to break it down so that you have the entire list of reagents and equipment that you need at the front. And then if you get to the bottom of the first page, you can see the end prep, which is preparing the end of the DNA ready for the adapter ligation. And it's basically broken down into 3 steps. There's the end prep, there's the adapter ligation and cleanup, and then there's your loading of where it says flongle flow cell, scratch out flongle, loading of the flow cell. And at the beginning of each of those, it says which of those reagents you need to use during that step. So I'm going to have all the reagents at the front here. I'm going to do my bit with them and then pass them back. And Ben and Idel will kind of move things around. So what we also have is our ethanol. Hand that to one group and hand that to another, and then I get this one as well. Thank you. Well, we can remove the Qubit stuff as well. Okay, so I've given you 22 microliters. Going through, let's get the reagents out as they come. So for the first part, we're going to need our DNA, which you have. I've put everything as acronyms, which is handy because I can't remember what any of them actually mean, but they are all available. We need, first step, DCS, AXP. Do you want to distribute our beads? Oh yeah, another one. And then we need our end prep reaction buffer. End prep buffer. So all of the thawing aspects of the protocol, I will be taking responsible for the thawing at what temperature and the mixing. And then you'll just take the samples that you need. There is a lot of stopping and starting in this protocol. There's a lot of wait here for 10 minutes, hang around for 5 minutes. So, entertain yourselves during those. But yeah, I'm going to get started. So following through, thaw the DCS at room temperature, which is thawed already. You're right. Mix by pipetting and place on ice. Do that.
No, we're going to do a bead clean now, right?
Yeah.
Works great.
Yeah. Oh.
No. We're just using regular IP tubes.
Yeah.
Because we've got so much DNA.
So we've thawed the end prep reaction buffer and enzyme prep on ice. Flick, invert, and spin.
Yes. I think the worst case is you basically just add adapter to your diamond.
Okay.
But then you clean it out.
PCH. So we've already got our our amplicon DNA in a 0.2 PCR tube. We need to adjust that to 49 microliters with nuclease-free water. What was the calculation that you got for that?
will it be?
22, 27. Great. Thank you very much. So 27 of water into our little PCR tube.
Yeah. Do you have water?
Oh, thank you. So funny how I can just do this with my eyes closed when I'm doing it on my own.
When you're telling people.
Yeah. And now I'm like, what is water? Where do you get water from?
Don't drink it. Well, I suppose if there's anything you're going to drink, that's the one you could drink.
Flick and spin that down.
Okay.
I think I'm fine at the moment. I just kept opening the empty one. Then we want the 1 microliter of DCS added into that PCR tube. I would give it a bit of a mix as you go with the pipette. And back.
1 microliter.
1 microliter.
How are you guys doing?
You're right.
Yeah, I like this stuff. Yeah. Okay. You've added water?
Now we have
Okay, 1 microliter of DCS.
Prep reaction buffer. 7 end prep reaction buffer.
Protocol. Yes. Sorry. And then we'll add your
7 of end prep reaction buffer.
Do you want to just go to that to swap?
Gonna need some help with the thermocycler. Oh, have they all gone? We need one. Ah, just the one. Just the one.
Okay. When pipetting small volumes, check your tip to make sure you've actually got it in. Especially some of these things are quite viscous. Thank you.
And have you done your end prep buffer?
They haven't done the input yet.
Okay. This is the 3 for the enzyme mix, and Adele has the buffer.
Yeah. 3 microliters. Yeah. Tick it off as we go, just that's what, when we're giving you stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you label your tube as 2? I'm going to be 1. Have you already written yours on?
Just me.
Oh, as long as you know what yours is. All right. And then theirs is the one that's unlabeled.
3 microliters of enzyme prep. So, slight change of plan. ONT is a wonderful company and they iterate very frequently with their products. What you have in front of you is for the newest version, which is LSK114. However, the kit we're using is actually LSK110, which is fine because the flow cell we're using is an R9, and so they work together. Basically, you're just going to have 5 minutes to figure out the exact differences between these 2 protocols, and then possibly start again, or possibly just carry on from where we started. Okay?
Means what? Right, where are we at? So we've done our thermocycler. We're going to transfer that. We should have 60 in there. Transfer that into an Eppendorf, but we've got slightly larger tubes here, so we're going to go with those. So we're going to take 60 out of your sample. That should be everything. So just take as much as you can. It should be a 60. But if you were to put it onto 65, you'll put it onto 65 and then, yeah, just make sure you get everything. And then it's going to be the beads. So you're going to probably want to be around showing everyone the bead stuff.
What, the bead clean?
Yeah.
Okay. Depth to ligation. This is one we don't.
Yeah.
So much
Yeah.
information.
Once you've transferred your sample into your larger tube, you can throw away your PCR tube. So we're going to start our bead clean. So you should have a tube of beads. You're going to want to vortex this a lot to get it really mixed up. Often it'll just start clumping together and you want to make sure it all is suspended. Can I steal a vortexer?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want
Let's pop that here. Can you show this group and Ben will do the one on the back. There. So we want to transfer 60 of that. So as soon as you vortex transfer, don't wait for it to settle.
That's good.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay.
Now?
And then you'll want to label your tube again because they're all going to go sit on a hula mixer for 5 minutes, which is just a little spinner. You've got your ethanol. You want to extract off approximately 120 of your liquid reagent. And then without moving the tube, so you don't want to disrupt that pellet, you want to then add your ethanol. So you really don't want the pellet moving around when you do that. So don't spray it with ethanol. Don't move your tube around. Just gently put the ethanol in so it kind of rises up over. And then you can pretty much immediately take it back out again. And that would have been one wash. And then you're going to do that again with a second wash. So that's steps 10 and 11.
No, just
Yeah. Yeah, you can go like you can go whatever you want it off.
It's slightly different to
I'm using a slightly bigger tube than the 1.5s, and my ethanol isn't quite reaching up to my pellet. So while it says put 200 in, I'd maybe go 250 if it's not covering your pellet.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much you add, as long as it's.
Yeah.
You found 1.5. Someone at 1.5.
If you can find some 1.5s, that would be great for later. Have you got 1.5s?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, amazing.
So we can do that for the next step, right?
Yeah. Great.
Just gonna drop it. Need one or two? Yeah.
Can you just chuck a few on me? Once you've taken away your second set of ethanol, give it a spin down again. And then back on the magnet. Does everyone still have their nuclease-free water? Take that as a yes. Yes, they do. Yeah. Have you done your ethanol wash? This table here, have you done your ethanol wash yet? Or are you still doing that? You're still washing? Yeah.
We have no by 1.5.
We have what?
1.5 mil.
Nice.
And again. Second.
So I usually get a smaller. Yeah. One.
Remember, at the end of this stage, once they've incubated for 2 minutes, you keep the eluate and you throw away the beads. I've done all of the spinning and the thawing at room temperature steps of this, so you just kind of need to get to the into DNA library add bit. And remember, LA is now AMXF. So if I start doing that, and then if my assistants can start transferring things to around the room. Well, nothing yet, but great. Go home.
I don't want to go home. Cold. Or summer, as we say.
Ha ha.
It's sad, but it's true. No.
Someone was texting about the rain yesterday. Okay.
25. LNB. The 25, the LNB can be quite viscous, so just be slow when you're pulling it up on the pipette.
Are you going straight into DNA from?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of steps in the main protocol that are just moving things around for no real reason.
yeah. Next.
10.
Yes.
Well, fast is a very strong word. This is the bridging distance.
Five. And then once you've put it in, use the same pipette to mix it. And then incubate it room temperature for 10 minutes. It was the ligase adapter.